We are back. We are in season, and we are picking locks today on the pod. We're going to tell you the final score of the Georgia game. We are not going to speculate about it. We are going to tell you definitively what's going to happen in the University of Georgia Clemson game next on the Locked On Bulldogs podcast.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
He is Daniel. I'm Clint. Today's episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. 5 Hour Energy. Go to 5hourenergy.com. More on them in a second. Daniel, we're here. It's our locks episode, which means you better if you're not listening to this first thing in the morning. By the way, welcome everydayers and first listeners.
The first listeners, are listening to it first thing in the morning because it's their first listen of the day.
Listen. Thank you for making us your first listen. Thank you for everydayers, because we're going to give you locks. We're going to start our journey back to making cash. We gave you win totals, but we're going to give you more for tonight. There are games tonight that we are going to give
on your television.
And then tonight, tomorrow night, and Saturday, and Sunday.
And then what?
And Monday.
Okay,
we got
here
games.
we go.
UGA plays. We're going to give first segment. We're going to talk about UGA, the game against Clemson, what that looks like for the Bulldogs. Then second, third, we're going to give out more locks that you can go bet on over at FanDuel, which we'll tell you about in a second as well. So Daniel, without further ado, let us begin with, we've given our previews. We've given our offense, our defense.
Talked about all about it.
We talked about the running backs. We talked about wild speculation that no one has any information on ever.
Well, there are some people that have information, and some people, the rest of us are just left to speculate. And but some of us know definitively what Kirby Smart's going to do, and so it's nice for those people. Let me ask you a question about this Clemson game, Clint, that I think
needs to be asked.
Curious to me. It's interesting. If I'm just a nonpartisan observer, and by the way, for fans, by fans, I'm not a nonpartisan observer.
Homers. Look, it says Bulldogs right there.
It's not
okay.
So if I were just a nonpartisan observer, it's something curious to me is that I haven't heard anybody, and it's talking season, Clint. People love to talk.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't heard one person, not a Clemson fan, not a national media member, not a Georgia fan with his bucket in his hand. I haven't heard one person tell me that they think Clemson is going to win this football game. And yet, that line has been sitting there at 13.5, Clint, and it has not. They won't give you 14 points if you want to take Clemson. They ain't going to give you them 14 points.
Oh, they got the 13 on the hook.
13.5, they're going to hold out right there. There seems to be a very popular narrative that Clemson can keep this game close. And yet I hear no one saying that Clemson could win this game. I don't have a specific question for you. I just point that out as it's curious to me.
It is curious to me too, because even if you remember back, you could talk about roster development. You could talk about where these teams are in program ascension and kind of plateauing, if in the case of Clemson. Daniel, we have question marks on this team that must be answered in this game. But it seems to me that if you look just at those who are in the know and those who actually have coached and won national championships and who have been around national championship teams, they're all
the YouTube commenters, the podcast hosts.
No, try again.
The beat writers.
No, not even them, because they're asking stupid questions.
Athens PD.
No, not even them, Daniel. They don't know they couldn't find a code of conduct book if it bit them. Yeah. They just know I like power. No, I'm talking about those who actually know football.
Okay.
They're saying the same thing that we're seeing and saying, which is Georgia's the most talented, Georgia's the most tested, led by the best coach in all of college football, with the best quarterback and a defense that's what everybody's saying. Clemson, we're not saying it's a guarantee that Georgia's going to win. That's not what we're saying. Of course, you go play the game, but what we are saying is, short of catastrophic footballing, just the way the way the ball bounces, Georgia's got this game, Daniel, because we got the better positions everywhere. We got the better coaches. We got the better everything. And if we execute, we're in.
Yeah, I don't know if it makes me nervous, if it makes me feel confident that like this idea that like why does everyone think Clemson can hang around if nobody thinks Clemson can pull this upset?
Because it's week 1. That's why.
Yeah,
it's week 1.
It feels like there's a little week 1 juju in here. And so let's just transition. Let's just get on with it. Official predictions, Clint. We will give our actual score predictions at the end of this segment, but I must start for the sake of the people by asking you the question I've been waiting 9 months to ask you.
Here we go. Please, Daniel.
Do you have a lock in this game, Clint?
I have a lean.
I have a lock, so let me start.
You start.
Let me start. Okay. I actually have 2 bets that I love in this game, and one of them is UGA first quarter.
Taking first quarter, not first half. Okay.
3. UGA first quarter -3. I think Georgia's coming out and getting off to a hot start in this game. I think that will happen on the offensive side of the ball, and I think that will happen on the defensive side of the ball. I do, I mentioned yesterday, I think Georgia's going to be fine at running back. The running back depth late in the game, you could see some interesting things, some young guys, maybe some freshmen getting in the game, maybe some freshman mistakes, maybe a missed blitz pickup, something. Things get squirrely towards the end.
Yeah.
Give me this hot start. Give me the Mike Bobo script.
Yep.
And give me Glenn Schumann with his defense coming out playing with their hair on fire. Georgia -3 in the first quarter. If you don't like that bet, you could take Georgia to score a touchdown on its opening drive, and you get plus 130 for that.
That's some good juice right there.
130 for Georgia to score a touchdown on its opening drive. That's a nice bet as well, but I'm going to give you Georgia first quarter -3. I'm locking it up in this game. What is your lean, Clint?
My lean is very interesting. If you look at the offensive points gained and offensive points allowed last year for both Georgia and Clemson, if you took both of those, Georgia winds up with their average game being over under 55.5 points. Clemson gets around 50. Yet the total for this over under is 48.5. So they're above that. But this is week 1.
It is.
This is a new clock. This is a Kirby Smart led team that just wants to win. And things get a little squirrely and get a little weird sometimes in these first game. Kirby Smart's not going to do anything extravagant. I think there's going to be execution. I think Bobo's going to have this offense. I love those bets of scoring early and scoring often to begin the game. But I think probably halfway through, you're going to see maybe some, I don't think Clemson's going to have explosiveness on offense. I certainly think Georgia's going to want to remain balanced. There might get a chance. I think there are 2 kind of options of this game. I think Georgia just can't stop itself from scoring against Clemson once it gets going, a la TCU in the championship, or it's going to be a closer game. So my lean is the under 48.5 on this. I think we're going to see a lot more unders, and Las Vegas has already accounted that for the new clock and everything like that. But give me under 48.5, not a lock, but a lean definitely. And probably by Saturday, I'll probably have that locked in my betting ticket.
I don't hate that. I thought about the Clemson team total under. Check in with me tomorrow about what I'm excited about to watch for that. I don't hate that bet because my official score prediction for this game is 27-13 Georgia. I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be a bit back and forth. I think both teams end up settling for a couple field goals. I think there might be some red zone execution situations, still ironing out the kinks. I do think Clemson's defense is talented. I think Georgia's defense is more talented. And so 27-13, that comes in comfortably under that 48.5, Clint. And so I don't hate that bet. I wouldn't touch this spread. As you can tell from that score prediction, I'm sitting right on the number. So I wouldn't touch the spread, but that is my official game prediction. What do you got final score?
I think final score is going to be, I'm going to go 28-10 Georgia. I think Georgia gets enough to go. I think that 10 could be 14, depending on red zone for Clemson, depending on if they're able to punch it in, if it's a field goal or a touchdown. But I'm going to go 30-10, which is that under. It's getting close to being able to say I'm going to take that cover, but I'm not, because again, like I said, depending on if that's touchdown or not. So we're going to come back right after these. We're going to give you more locks for the rest of the weekend. But first, these.
5 Hour Energy is what we're here to talk about right now. We use 5 Hour Energy. Clint does. I do. Listen, you got a lot of stuff going on in your life. You got a big to-do list. You got a bunch of things around the house that you got to tackle. And let me just tell you this. You got to get all that stuff done on Saturday before the game starts. You better get up. You got to get up early. You got to get things done. You got to be productive. You got to check things off the to-do list. And there's no better way to do that than with a 5 Hour Energy. You got a large list of home projects. When you go to get your supplies, don't forget to get the most important one, a 5 Hour Energy. With zero sugar and a convenient portable size, it's the perfect pick-me-up for getting stuff done. 5 Hour Energy website has flavors galore like watermelon, tropical burst, berry, and much, much more. Try them all on the site. You can even build your own 12-pack or 24-pack. Choose the flavors you want and have them delivered right to your door. If you go to 5hourenergy.com, that's the number 5hourenergy.com, and get a 5 Hour Energy and get any 5 Hour Energy product today. You can use this promo code LOCKEDONCFB. That's LOCKEDONCFB to receive 20% off your order. Offers only valid until September 30th on one order. Can't be used with any other promotions. The code is not good on subscription orders. Go to 5hourenergy.com today.
All right, Daniel, we are back for locks.
Time to make some locks.
My
Clint.
goodness gracious.
The money is about to come streaming in.
How many locks do you have for the people today, Daniel?
I'm sitting on 4 absolute rock solid, take it to the bank locks. I'm tempering myself in this week 1.
You are.
To be honest with you, there's a lot of games I want to get in on, but I respect the people too much. With my own money, I'll dabble. Believe me, by Saturday, I will have sprayed the board. Like, I will just be like shotgun approach to picking locks. Okay. But I respect the people too much. I'm going to give you my 4 best, and 2 of them come from the same game, Clint. So how many do you have for the people?
I have many logs on the fire.
As one does.
I also have 4 locks.
Clint's the man of many logs. I actually have 5 because I gave the Georgia lock. So I had 5 locks. I have 4 more. So
I have 4 total with 3 potential, depending on how we talk.
I think we all know we're going to be seeing those in segment 3 for the 199. I think you know that they're going to be getting in on those. I'm going to let you lead us off, Clint.
Here's the deal.
Wherever you want to go.
I want to start with what I think is kind of a ludicrous line to begin week 1 with hype already there. And I'm going to take you to a place in which already lanes of traffic are being shut down because Pat McAfee and his degenerate self is making his way up to Morgantown, West Virginia.
Stop.
West Virginia.
This is fascinating. I want to bet on this game so bad, Clint. Help me, because I can't figure out what side to take.
Okay. It's very simple. Here's the very simple. West Virginia has a talented roster with a quarterback that is talented, mobile, and can do some things with his arm.
Good coach, too. Neil Brown had a great year last year.
Great year last year. They're up and coming. West Virginia has a tradition of stability. I know that sounds ridiculous, but they're always there. They know how to run offense. Penn State, what's Penn State's biggest problem? Is it scoring points or stopping points? They can stop points pretty well. Scoring the points is a problem for Penn State.
Has been.
They're away from home.
That place is going to be worse than bananas, Clint. I'm talking about worse than bananas. Yeah.
The line is 8.5, more than a touchdown, Daniel. That is too many daggum points on the road. Week 1 against West Virginia. Give me West Virginia plus the 8.5.
Man wants the home dog.
I want the home dog. It's a home dog in Penn State. I don't trust you. You don't have the talented roster. You can't score points like I think you can.
No.
And if you do, West Virginia can keep up with you. Give me 8.5 in West Virginia.
Okay. I don't hate that at all. I am also going to go to the Big Ten, and I'm going to give you my 2 for 1. I'm going to take you to the same game, and I got 2 locks in this game because, I mean, they go hand in hand. I couldn't figure out which bet I liked more, and so I just bet both of them. There's a chance one of them hits and one of them doesn't, I guess, but I feel very confident that both of them are going to hit. I don't know what the big picture season outlook looks like for Michigan this year. We know about the scandal. We know about the stuff hanging over their heads. We know about all of the stuff looming. We know that Jim Harbaugh is gone. J.J. McCarthy is gone. Blake Corum is gone. We know that Sherrone Moore comes in and takes over as head coach. We know that it's going to be a bit of a new look for the Michigan Wolverines this year. Here's something else I know.
What do you know?
I know that Michigan has one of the best defenses in all of college football. There are some absolute animals on that side of the football. They welcome Fresno State into town. Now, Clint, this is not your father's Fresno State team, okay?
No, it's not.
This is not even your older brother's Fresno State team.
Tedford's not even there anymore.
There ain't
man.
a handlebar mustache coming within 30 miles of that door. Okay. You understand? He ain't walking through that door. If you don't understand that reference that I just made, this may not be the pod for you, but we're happy that you're here.
We're happy you're here. Yeah.
But there's not a handlebar mustache coming to save you if you're Fresno State. Not. So I am going to take a 2 for 1. I'm going to take Michigan minus 20.5. It's less than 21. I think the offense under Sherrone Moore is going to be motivated to come out and flex a little bit to show that, hey, we know we lost J.J. McCarthy. We know we lost Blake Corum. We know we lost a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball, but we could still score some points. But just in case that doesn't hit as a safety net, give me Fresno State team total under 12.5. Fresno State ain't going to score it in this game, period.
Maybe 10 on a fluke touchdown.
I mean, maybe. I predict 6. The final score of this game is going to be something like 28-6. And so if it's 28-6, your boy going home with quite a lot of winning. So those are my 2 locks for the Michigan game. Give the people one more. We'll go to segment 3.
Boise State's a playoff team poised to make a run if they can get into it. Georgia Southern, not a playoff team. Correct. Not looking to do that. 12.5. It's less than 2 touchdowns is the spread in this game. I don't think Georgia Southern has enough on the offensive side. I think Boise State does have plenty, and I think they have something proven. I think they actually have the talent to do so in the skill positions. Give me Boise State giving the 12.5 points to Georgia Southern all day, every day, twice on Sundays this week.
I don't hate it, my man. Going with a group of 5 lock in the first show of the year. You love to see it. We will be back. We got more locks to give you right after these.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is FanDuel. If you want to take everything we're giving you right now, all of these locks, all of these things,
what should they do?
They should go to FanDuel.com, Daniel.
Okay, now that sounds right.
Because that's the beauty of it. You can take these not just to the bank, but actually take from the bank into FanDuel and get some more to put into the bank. That's what we're giving you. FanDuel.com, the official sports book of Locked On Bulldogs, Locked On Podcasts everywhere. And Daniel and I, our favorite place to do that. And right now, if you make a $5 bet, take a bet to put it on Michigan to cover, put it on Fresno State to get the under. That's just $5 right there. Guess what? NFL Sunday ticket's going to be yours
for 3 weeks. For 3 weeks. Free.
That's all you need. It's free NFL Sunday ticket. This is good until September 22nd. Does not combine with any offer. $5 bet. Ones we're giving you right now. Go over there. Get 3 weeks free of NFL Sunday ticket. FanDuel.com, the official sports book of Locked On Bulldogs. But Daniel, that's not all.
Also want to let you know about Factor meals. Fuel up with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals thanks to a menu of chef-crafted meals. Options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor Fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved, ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. Make today the day you kickstart your new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? 35 different meals, more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week. You will always have a new flavor to explore. Head to factormeals.com/lockedoncollege50. I'm going to say it again. factormeals.com/lockedoncollege50 and use the code lockedoncollege50 for 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code lockedoncollege50 at factormeals.com/lockedoncollege50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month while your subscription is active.
Daniel, we got plenty of locks still over there. You had two, you had 4, you gave out 2. Give us your third that you have on the ticket.
Well, I need to take the people to Friday night because you may be listening to this on a Friday morning. You may be listening to this on your way to work on Friday. So I need to get the people the Friday night locks. Now, there's a lot of games on Friday. There's wait, this might be a Thursday game. Yeah, it's a Thursday game, Clint. Oh my gosh. I had this game on Friday.
It's Thursday games at 5 o'clock are looking pretty dang good, Daniel.
Yeah. So there's 2 Thursday games that you're going to want to pay attention to. One is North Carolina, Minnesota, and the other is Colorado, North Dakota State. I'm going to take you to the latter of the 2. Listen, everybody loves to pick against the Colorado Buffaloes and Deion Sanders. Let me tell you something that is unquestionably true. The thing Colorado has is talent and no depth. Those are the 2 staples of their roster. Like, those are the things you can take to the bank. They are talented and they are not deep. Let me ask you this, Clint. At what point in the season between week 1 and week 12 will Colorado be the least injured that it will be all season long? Like, when will that team be the healthiest? It's today. So if you're concerned about Colorado's depth, I get it. When did Colorado win all of its games last year? Right at the beginning of the season. When's Colorado going to look really good again this year? Right at the beginning of the season. North Dakota State, the Bison, are a trendy pick because everybody's watched them for years. Everybody's seen what they can do, and they are a really good FCS team.
Yeah.
Give me Colorado. Lay the 9.5 points.
It's under double digits, guys.
I think at home, this is a Shedeur Sanders statement game. It's an early season. All eyes are on them. This game could get out of hand. Deion will try to let it get out of hand. Like, he's not going to try to just coast to a win. He's going to try to make a statement. Colorado's as healthy as they're going to be all year. Give me Colorado minus 9.5 against the Bison.
This is also one of my locks. We are doubling up on this. Take Colorado while you can. Deion doesn't know how to coach. I'll say it again. He has no idea how to coach. He does, in fact, get his family members excited for a backyard flag football game, which is what Colorado will want to do. They're not physical, but they can run around very, very excitedly, fastly, and score points, which is what they'll do for the first couple of games. It's under double digits. This is an easy pick. I know North Dakota State's going to want to keep it close with the fundamentals. It doesn't work that way. We all saw week 1 last year. I think there's a repeat of that for Colorado, and then it's going to drop off. So that is one of my locks as well.
I love it.
I'm going to take you to another crazy line. These are 2 teams that on paper, you look at the names of them, and one is an SEC school, one is not. And you think to yourself, well, this is going to be an easy choice. But then you look at the number. Kentucky is not a particularly talented team. It's well coached. It's well fundamentaled, but they're not talented. Okay. They're playing Southern Miss, not a very talented team.
No, is Brett Favre the quarterback still?
No, he is taking welfare checks still, Daniel. So,
no, he is stealing money from impoverished people.
Okay, great. Southern Miss, not talented, but Kentucky also not talented. Kentucky can run the football. Brock Vandegrift can also scramble around, doesn't have wide receivers to throw to, and running back depth is problematic. The defense has a couple of defensive ends. If you run up the middle, I think you're going to be fine. The line is 27.5 points that Kentucky is giving to Southern Miss.
I can't tell after all this analysis, Clint, as full disclosure, I have no idea what your lock is. So you have got me just salivating, just waiting to hear what the pick is.
Almost 4 touchdowns to a not talented team. I don't care who's home. I don't care. The clock is going to run down. There might not be 28 points scored in this game. Give me Southern Miss.
You're taking
plus
the points.
27. I'm taking the points. Yes, Kentucky's not that good. Come on, y'all.
All right, I got one more, and I saved it to the end because I don't want to give it out because people
He
aren't going
always
to
does
like it.
guys every single year.
People, if you want to hear me bet on a rival, wait till the very end of the lock spot.
And he always will.
There's always money to be made. You got to take your heart out of it.
You do.
And sometimes you just have to recognize that, okay,
Facts are facts.
the team's got a tough schedule. The team's going to lose a lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
I think the narrative, though, around Florida this year has become Florida's not good. Because Florida is going to lose a lot of games this year. They are. And that will be spectacular when they do.
Billy Napier will not make it out of the season.
No, he won't, because they'll lose a lot of games. But two things, Clint, can be true at the same time. This is also Florida's best team that they've had under Billy Napier. This will be the best team that Florida has fielded since Billy Napier was the coach, top to bottom. A lot of Georgia fans may not want to hear that. They may not want to admit that. But just look at the roster. It's objectively true. This will be Florida's best team. Now, they're still going to lose a lot of games.
Yeah.
But there aren't many of those games, Clint, where Florida unequivocally has the best coach in the stadium by 10 miles.
Mario Cristobal is not it. Here's a spoiler.
No, he's never been it. No one's ever thought he was it.
No.
Give me Florida at home catching 3.5 points. Give me 3 and a hook for Florida in the swamp against a rival in week 1 when they, another team that lacks depth, when they are going to be as healthy as they've been all season. This is the time for Florida to play their best. Give me Florida plus 3.5 at home. I think they're going to win this game.
This was one that I had on the fire. This is called emotional hedging for Daniel and I because
not for me. This is called just doubling down.
Doubling down.
Either going to be really happy or really sad.
33, I think it's 33 times in a row. Last year, Florida went to Utah, and you and I hammered the point spread on that.
We loved them Utes.
Because when you go on the road for week 1, it's bad news. At home with a motivated team. Utah was a motivated team. Florida's a motivated team to win this game against Miami in the state. Billy Napier wants to come out firing. I know they're not as talented at the skill position, particularly quarterback, that Florida wants, but they are. Cam is fantastic for Miami. That ends the list of advantages that Miami has going in week 1 right now. I think 3.5 is just the perfect amount for this. Give me Florida as well, getting those points. It's insane to me. The more I think about it, because
he's taking them. Yo.
I'm taking them.
All right, you got any more? You got one more for the people?
Look, I'm just gonna say this. I'm just gonna
just say it.
Bama's a good team. This is not a lock. This is a heavy lean that by Saturday I will bet this.
Bama's so it's a lock. It's giving out a lot.
No,
Randy, make a note. Randy, it's a lock.
It's a lock only, Randy, if it wins. If it doesn't, then it's a lean. Here's the reality. Bama's a good team. I think they're going to have no problem against Western Kentucky. Clearly, honestly, 31.5 points is a lot of points with a new coach. I know he wants to come out and make a statement. I get all that. It's exactly why I'm taking them and saying 31.5 is no problem for Bama this week. Kalen DeBoer is going to want to come out and show out. They can run with Milroe 24 times, and Western Kentucky cannot stop them, and they will score a lot of those points. I think defensively, they're going to be fine. It's at home. Kalen DeBoer wants to show out, and you can run simple plays with more talent. The highly, highly athletic Milroe and everybody else and be just fine. So I'm going to give the points 31.5. Again, as a lean, I'll bet it come Saturday, guaranteed. But that's my one bonus one, Daniel.
I want to find a line for Western Kentucky to score a touchdown on their opening drive, because Wouldn't it be hilarious
to win the kick
if this new look Alabama secondary just came out and gave up a bomb?
2 plays
in. 2 plays in. Western Kentucky receives the opening kick, and all of a sudden it's 7-0 before you can even blink.
Oh my!
You know Alabama's going to score a billion points. Kalen DeBoer is going to be motivated to score a lot of points in this game.
Yes.
But what if they come out and score on their first drive? I'll keep you updated on that if I find that line. He is Clint. I am Daniel. This has been the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. Go to FanDuel, make all these bets. We will be back tomorrow talking to you about what we're excited about, what we're nervous about, what you should not sleep on, all of that and more tomorrow on the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. We'll see you guys then.
See you.